Hello, my name is Brendan Smirbeck and I'm the VP of Technical Services at BCI Computers.
And I'm Jameson McKay, the VP of Training at BCI Computers.
This is our free HIPAA Compliance checklist. Now, this video serves as a short guide to see whether or not your office is compliant or not, and whether or not you need to pursue training or, any sort of compliance solutions. Now, we're going to start this off by talking about health plans or, health practices and all private practices, anybody who has to deal with PHI.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing we need to ask, and the first thing you need to be asking yourself is, have any of your forms been updated since September of 2013? Now, that date's really important, right?
Yes, it is. That was when the Omnibus Rule was released, which pretty much just encompassed everything within HIPAA.
Yeah, it was a really large revision to the tech, and it added a lot of more up-to-date things, like genetic information and things that may not have been readily available at that time. So, as of September 2013, all of your forms have to have been updated. Now, this includes your Notice of Privacy Practice, that you also have to ask to make sure you have that in a visible area that's required by HIPAA. That's most commonly done, but we need to ask just in case. Once you do that, you have to say, has my Notice of Privacy Practice been updated? In addition, you then have to ask, do I have any safeguard policies in place? Any policies that are in place to, protect my information? Unless you have specific policies in writing, that's going to be a violation.
Yes.
Now, talking about the business associate. The business associate is anybody who works with a covered entity or another business associate in the handling or may be in position to handle PHI. The first thing you really need to ask is, do you maintain your security and privacy policies? That being said, that's the same as being a covered entity. You need to be asking yourself, do I have these policies in place to protect, PHI, and am I actively practicing those policies?
Now, the person that would be in charge of putting those policies in place and actually instating them and whatever has to do with them would be a security officer.
Yes.
And this is mandatory in every office. There must be at least one security officer.
Now, this person needs to be the most trained in HIPAA. We actually have a compliance officer course available on the website. If it interests you, you can go to our shop and look at that. In addition, you need to ask, has there been any HIPAA training? Has it been done within the last year? Now, that's because HIPAA training for the entire staff is mandated once every 2 years, though it's recommended to do it annually. So you need to ask, when was the last time the staff was trained? If somebody new has joined since the last time they were trained, were they trained individually? Now, BCI actually offers all these training courses online as a way to brief people or get them up to date, or just do a complete training session. Lastly, but most important, is business associate agreements. You need to make sure that you have business associate agreements with all your business associates. In addition, just like all your policies, these have to be updated as of September 2013. So you have to ask, have I contacted all my vendors, all my EMR hosts? Did I contact my transcriptionist company and make sure that I've updated this as of September 2013? If you haven't, that's a violation.
Yes.
Moving on to talk about the covered entity. The covered entity is any person who handles or may handle, PHI. Now this involves, the actual practices. And the first question, like all the others, is, have you updated your form since September of 2013? Reasoning being the Omnibus Rule, and its revision means that all forms and policies have to be updated.
Now, also, as we mentioned before in the health plans, there must be safeguard policies in place, which we also mentioned. The security officer will be the one to instate the safeguard policies.
Exactly. And lastly, but most really important, is that you have a policy in place for breach notification. Now, that includes the annual breach notification to the HHS. If you have not been annually reporting all your breaches to the HHS, you're in violation. Now, this concludes our free HIPAA checklist. If you want any more information, you can contact us at bcihipaa.com or just email us. Both of our contact information is there. Thank you.
Thank you.